Yo, 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 yo. And I ain't talking about Duncan or Yo Mega. Yo, it's three guys with common sense. We are back live right here, coming right through your screen, your tablets, your computers, your your laptops, all that. My name is Quill Will. I am accompanied by two greatest co-hosts that you could ever want. The only two other guys with common sense around here. We got Avatar Slang. You can't say the slang without ang. Bringing all the elements together as usual. What's up, Slanger?
Nothing. I got a little bit of mac and cheese on my plate. Turkey. I'm lagging, so y'all gonna see in a couple seconds.
That's cool. I'm making some macaroni and cheese tonight. I was telling this guy over here, I'll introduce him in a second. Beef short ribs in the Instapot, macaroni and cheese, and some broccoli. That sounds like the move tonight. I do a little chefing. Maybe I should do. Maybe one day. Maybe we'll hook up a little cooking thing, a little cooking pod for me one day. That'll be interesting.
Should. Or we can have a kickoff with Kiana.
Right. Oh, she is the shit. Shout out to Kiana. She is the shit. For real. I stay on her stories like the shit just be perfect. I don't know if it be and don't even the filters make it look pretty, but goddamn, that girl could cook her ass off. Shout out to Kiana. And then we got the Beyonce of the group. We got the $750 hoe. We got your boy Mike Moolah. That's money. That's Dan Lime right there. What's that? Mikey Mike Bleak.
Michael Bleak.
Michael Bleak.
Yes, sir.
Who was never popping in Philly, according to my friends, or something like that.
The whole rock was popping in Philly. The whole rock was popping in Philly.
Thank you.
No. The joke was I said he didn't have no pool in Philly, but that's not something I would have cared about that age. So I wouldn't have said that. It's a joke, basically.
Yeah. What we sipping on today, fellas?
I got some Mary J. Blige. Shout out to Yonkers. I got some Mary J. Blige wine, of course. It's been a heavy weekend, a heavy last week, I should say, heavy last 8-9 days. But I'm sure we're about to get into that. But what are you fellas drinking?
I got this Yingling Flights.
How was that?
It's a light beer, apparently 95 calorie beer. It's for a light beer, it's not bad. I'm not a fan of light beer.
Would you drink it again?
Would I drink it again? Would I reach for it to buy it? Hell no.
Okay.
But this was not bought. This was left over here, and I wanted to get these out the fridge. So because they were taking up space, and I didn't want. You don't waste alcohol, so I'm drinking them. They're not awful, but they're not my cup of tea. I'm an IPA guy. Sometimes you'll find me down at Iron Hill Brewery just drinking their IPAs.
I got
tasting different things.
I got an IPA I want you to try next time you come over. It's a black-owned Brooklyn. It's called Brooklyn Lager, I believe.
Okay, I'll try it.
It's a hazy IPA.
No problem. And I need my boy Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull.
Of course, that's the name of his joint. Of
IPA
course,
to get to Pennsylvania. It's not sold in Pennsylvania yet, but it will be soon. I need that. Because I hear rave reviews about everybody.
His beer just better be sponsored by the beer he used to drink on WWF when he used to smash it across his head and pour it on everybody. It better be through that company.
No, it's not through Budweiser.
Wow.
Steve Weiser. He was drinking Steve Weisers. He was drinking Steve Weisers. That's what it was.
Oh,
but
okay.
We'll actually have some wrestling for you all today, but we'll get into that later.
Yes, we will.
Let
me tell you my drink real quick.
Oh, what you got? Is it blueberry? Pomegranate?
Kinda. It's blueberry. I don't know if y'all can see it. No, y'all can't see it. It's too low. But it's blueberry and is a berry sangria with Douce in it. So it's a Douce sangria with berries.
So he got an Illuminati drink on a Sunday. I like
if I
it.
do
Only
say
you
so
think about
myself,
the Illuminati,
if I do
Mike,
say
'cause you're
so
in it.
myself, if I do say so
Nope.
myself,
Nope. I'm only. You know what? I am in the Illuminati. That's next week. That starts next week.
I don't know what that means.
It's not Ramadan. It's Illuminati.
Wow.
it's the Illuminati. We're shining light. Wow.
All right. Let's get to the heavy topic. Introduce it, Quill, before I get very emotional about it.
Uh, well, oh man, Dark Man X,
Mm-hmm.
Dark Man X.
Earl
Wait,
Simmons.
that was stood for this whole time?
Yeah,
Yes.
Damn it, I don't know nothing.
Dark Man X, DMX, Earl Simmons, gone way too soon.
Absolutely.
50 years old, passed away. What, about 2 days ago?
Yep.
And that's a tough one. It's a tough one for the hip hop community. You're losing, and it's hard for this generation because I think that generation of rappers hasn't really experienced such a huge loss of a real like titan of rap music like DMX.
Mm-hmm.
That is tough. One of the more relatable rappers you'll ever come across because he got it from the mud and he stayed in the mud. He was never too big for any situation. Extremely humble, but unfortunately extremely troubled, which more than likely they probably will never confirm the real cause of death, but
And you know what? They don't need to. It's not our business.
They don't need to.
That well said, Derek.
They don't need to. But a very troubled man, and a guy who lived an extremely hard life, and you felt that in his music.
Yep.
So, it's one of those deals where it's extremely sad to see that, to see the outpouring of love and respect from not only just the hip hop community, but I mean, he was picking up CNN coverage. He was picking up coverage from, the actual news organizations, like, stuff you wouldn't see for a normal, hip hop rap artist. You don't see that all the time. Yeah, they might get a little bit of coverage, but CNN had regular coverage of the DMX situation. And that you don't see for just a guy. He was, a fantastic rapper. Definitely, in a lot of people's top 25, top 50. Some people he's their GOAT, and we're not going to be here to slander anybody's name. I think he is one of the greatest of all time at what he does, what he did.
He's in my top 15.
Yeah.
For me, since to be consistent, and this is me being objective because it'd be wrong if someone pulled up footage of me saying I thought he was dope, but he wasn't someone I followed. But objectively, like me just knowing what I know about hip hop, he's a tier one. He's a tier one for me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And he was never a bars guy, but he was somebody that was real, like I said, real, and most importantly, relatable. He's believable. Like he lived what he talked. And
that's the key word, Will.
Yeah. Relatable and extremely likable. Like extremely likable. No, he was not perfect by any stretch. And like I said, not nobody. He lived a really hard life. So in that sense, selfishly, I hurt because you don't want to see anybody else go. I was talking to my grandma about it. She's like, "Yeah, I know who DMX. He's the guy with the dogs, right?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah," because you wouldn't let me listen to his music on the radio because he was rough around the edges. You always would make me change the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
But the first couple of rappers I ever fell in love with, music wise, Jay-Z, and DMX. DMX was number two. That was like the second person I really recognized as a 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, that I recognized like, yo, like, I love his stuff. And obviously, we go back later on down the line as adults, and we can appreciate their music. Like songs like Slippin' would be like an automatic skip for me back in the day. And I'm not ashamed to say it, but it resonates so much more now when you go back and listen to those records. Just listen to what he's talking about, because it's relevant. It stays relevant. His music is always going to be something that stays relevant and real, authentic. And you hear a lot of people talking, using those adjectives to describe DMX. Very, very much real, very much authentic, and those are, as a rapper, as a hip hop, as an artist, and as a person, those are two things that you absolutely, if somebody was describing you would want them to describe you as that type. So, we love DMX. We appreciate him. Blessings to his family, blessings to his friends. Man, just seeing cats like Drag On and seeing like Swiss Beats, like the hurt in their voices, the hurt in their, and it was tough to get through. Very, very tough to get through. But I've already gone on a long enough emotional tangent. I'm gonna swing it to one of y'all. Take my sip here.
I'll piggyback off of what you said, because if you think about it, Quill, the last concert that I went to, I don't know if it's the last concert you went to, but the last concert I went to was It's Dark and Hell is Hot 20th anniversary tour.
Mm-hmm.
And when the tickets first went on sale, we both hit each other up like, yo, we got to go to this. And the words that you were saying, it really was true to what I felt. Because if you think about it, to our generation, well, I can't even really speak to our generation. I'll speak for me. For me, DMX was exactly what Tupac was to people 5 to 10 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they talked about Tupac is how I felt about DMX. He was captivating. Like you said, it wasn't always the bars that grabbed you. It wasn't always, the persona that grabbed you or the fashion that grabbed you. It was that he was real. He was true to self. You believed everything that came out of his mouth. And he was one of the few rappers that I listened to that talked about mental illness. Another one who is a favorite of mine is Scarface. Those were the two that always preached about mental illness and things that was going on right outside of the booth. And, they didn't always talk about the glitz and glamour. Like I said earlier, DMX is in my top 15. Like what Quill said, when it comes to when I first started knowing what hip hop was, I've said this on previous podcasts. The first hip hop song that I remember reciting as a kid was "Ain't No Nigga" by Jay-Z. The first star, guy where I was like, oh, he's a star, was Mace. And the first hip hop album I've ever heard straight through was It's Dark and Hell is Hot. So those three artists always have a special place in my heart because of what they meant to me as a child and my introduction to hip hop. DMX, I can go on and on about DMX, but I would start to break down. But I will say this, that his presence was like no other. His drive was like no other. Him as a person was like no other. And like you said, he was true to self. I've heard every single DMX album, even the recent ones of the last 10, 15 years that weren't that good. But DMX is one of those guys. If he came out with something, I listened to it because that was just my guy. And I always cherish DMX for, I remember as a kid watching Backstage and seeing him and Hove headline in the Backstage tour. And I remember reading, either I read something or saw an interview where Hov said X and Busta Rhymes is the reason why he had to up his stage presence during his tours, because he would see them light it up, and he was like, "Yo, I gotta be like those guys on stage." And
Right.
you know, again, I miss X, but he's not hurting no more. He's in a better place. You know, his words will always resonate with me. I will always walk. And I mean, he was the first person I knew to say prayers. Before I went to Catholic school, the only people I knew who said prayers was DMX and the nuns at school. But you know, like I said, I am gonna always cherish that me and you, Quill, got to see DMX in concert.
Right.
That was the last concert I saw before the pandemic. We went. It was April of 2019, right?
18.
No,
19. 19. You're right.
It was 19.
You're right. You're right.
But
because I just started at where I was working at. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's dark and hell. It's hot, flesh in my flesh, blood in my blood. The Great Depression.
Grand Champ.
And then there was X. Those albums, everybody should go listen to them.
Oh yeah. Did Mikey freeze?
I froze.
Oh no, you good. You good.
Okay. I just want to say, y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right. I just want to say a quick lyric that DMX said. 24 left until my death. So I'm going to waste a lot of lives, but I cherish every breath. I know exactly where I'm going, but I'm gonna send you there first. And the shit that I've been doing, I'm gonna send you there worse. I've been living with a curse. Now it's all about the end. But before I go, say hello to my little friend. I got to make it right, reconcile with my mother. Try to explain to my son, to my girl, I love her. See for up under the coat, stress under my dog. Turn like 3 buildings on Wall Street into a fog. Out with a bang. You will remember my name. I wanted to live forever, but this wasn't fame. That was DMX on
24 hours to live.
24 hours to live.
24 hours to live. I thought he stole the show on that.
He did.
Him and Kiss were incredible on that joint.
Side note, I grew up with that song. That's one of my brother's favorite songs.
Yep.
Got 24 hours to live. What would you do? Who would you screw? Like, no, that record is dope. And just a side note, one of the major reasons why I'm a concert goer, I had the opportunity to go to see Prince, and I passed it up. For whatever reason, I just did not take a chance to see the opportunity, and Prince ended up passing not too long after that. And I said to myself, I said, you know what? I will never miss another legend come into my city, you know, because we never know when's the last time we're going to be able to see them. And that's why going to see DMX was so important, because you never know when you're going to lose the people that you care about, in a sense of, you know, of music and their artistry. You just never know. And like I said, I'm so glad I was able to see X, and he looked great. Like we like me and Mike were just really reminiscing like how good he looked.
Yep.
Like he looked happy. He looked good. He put on looked like he was eating good. You know, like everything was great. Everything was great. But you know, when you live with those demons, it's hard.
Let me give this quick synopsis. This quick fact. DMX has the 11th highest selling album discography in all of hip hop history. $14 million sold, and he still owed Def Jam $12 million at the end of his contract. Jay-Z, as president, wiped the debt, and X signed with Sony. Imagine selling $14 million worth of records, or 14 million records, and still owing money at the end of your contract. That speaks to the stupidity, the like, how can these companies do this to people? You only are a company because of the artists and their words. You know,
right.
That's
Capitalism
like,
exists when people are at the bottom.
That's like Jerry Krause saying, you know, the front office wins championships, but you don't put on those sneakers every day and play the game, so you can't say that. You know what I mean? Selling 14 million records and still owing 12 million at the end of a contract is fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's beyond nasty. That's old country buffet nasty. that is
it's rough. That's rough.
Wow. That's mac with no cheese nasty.
Yeah.
But
that's no dice.
But yeah, I'm always going to pray for DMX. I've always prayed for DMX. DMX, thank you for your words, their encouragement. You know, the everything, your presence. Just you will always be my Tupac, the most captivating artist that I ever loved. Will always be DMX.
Then didn't we say at the joint protect DMX? We just costs. Like at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
At all. Well, now he'll be eternally protected.
Right. You are now with God, man. You are now with your Lord. Prayers up to you and your family, your children. Swiss Beats, the whole Rough Riders family. Let's just always cherish DMX's name. But let me say this quick thing before we get out of here. I've been seeing people saying, oh, now y'all want to praise DMX now that he's dead. Y'all wasn't doing this when he was alive. You're a fucking liar.
Group.
Not our group. No.
You're a fucking liar.
I mean, I'm on film saying y'all talk about DMX all the time like he came out last week. That's been a running joke for us.
I've always prayed. Me personally, and like you said, Derek, you can pull all the footage up. Like you said, we talk about DMX like he came out last week. We talk about DMX like he was dropping hit after hit for the last 25 years. You know what I mean? Like that's just one of our guys. So, for people like, and I'm gonna put him out there, the game, just saying clout chasey bullshit. Shut the fuck up. Worry about when you die if we remember your ass.
Oh man.
Worry about that.
Wow. It's crazy. Like when you look at the festivals that DMX with the festival concerts, the way he would do, and the way he controlled the crowd.
Yeah.
The way that he was connecting with the people in the audience. Like, and these weren't just black people. He connected with everybody.
Before Hey Ya came out by Outkast, which is every white person's favorite hip hop song, it was Party Up. Party Up was every white person's favorite hip hop song before.
Can I throw another song on that list while we're here?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Gangsta's Paradise.
Oh my God. Song. Oh my! I lie to you not. The person who just commented sent me a message the other day talking about Gangsta's Paradise being one of the greatest rap songs ever, and I wanted to send him a message back. I guess I'll tell him live. If you don't get your ass out of here. Because that shit is garbo. The beat is hot. The beat was hot for that time, but whatever. That's not why we're here. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Well, I'll always cherish my DMX shirts. I'm gonna protect them at all costs. When they don't fit anymore, when they become too washed out, I'm gonna make sure I hang them up somewhere.
Sounds good.
It's dark and hot. Yeah, that'd be my DMX, my next discography. That'll be
DMX. We love and we miss you. I've cried 3 times for you in the last week or so. So,
it's tough.
It hurts, tough. But it hurts. But he's in a better place, man.
Yeah, no more struggles. No more struggles.
Yeah. What's your favorite DMX song, Quill?
That's tough.
Mine's is coming from with Mary J. Blige. I don't know where I'm going from. Where would I go? That joint.
Okay. That joint's cool. Which album?
I want to say sonically, my favorite song is "How It's Going Down."
Yeah.
But just listenability, repeatability or replayability actually. Don't be greedy.
Okay. What was you saying, Derek?
Which album's the one with Damien on it?
He's on 2 albums. He's on a couple albums. You
Yep.
talking about the original
The
Damien?
original.
I think so. Yeah.
That's on the first album. Damien appears on damn near all the albums.
Oh, okay. Now I'm even more lost. I guess I need to go back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, definitely revisit. Blackout is another personal favorite. I was just listening to that. Yeah, Blackout is one of those songs that's good in any hood, anytime.
And
anytime.
Hove watched all of them on there, but whatever. That's a topic for another day.
Do another day.
Yeah, it's a topic for you in like 5 minutes.
I'm a monster. I'm a monster. I spit from when it summers. Ghetto nigga putting up Will Smith numbers. Surrounded by bitches and hummers. Sixes among us. Trying not to let this bullshit become us. All right, let's stop. Move on.
But no, that record was crazy. That record was crazy. But
all in the same.
It's Dark and Hella Hot's my favorite album, if that matters.
Oh yeah. By long shot.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know I was saying anything obvious.
I'm not mad at that.
I just know, like that's the one I would revisit if I had if I had to pick only one.
Viewers, let us know that you're here.
Yeah. Say hello so we can say hello back. All right, next topic.
Let us know.
What else we get into?
Quill, we gotta get some of their flowers while they're doing great stuff. So Quill, that's
a light there. Okay. Flowers.
Who we giving flowers to? Oh.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll get that out the way then. WrestleMania Night 1 was last night. Overall, very entertaining first night. It exceeded. I think they over-delivered. It exceeded expectations.
I have a question.
Sure. Is
WrestleMania every year?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for my new questions. I really don't be knowing.
No, WrestleMania is every year. It's the granddaddy of them all. It is the wow. It is the show of shows, so to speak. April of every year. Yes, Robert, the EST of WWE. I'm getting there.
Oh God!
Shout out to Robert Edmonds. Matches last night. Shut up, John. This is not your show. You get your own podcast. You can talk about what the hell you want to talk about. Okay.
For all your listeners, we have we get comments in real time, so that's why you might hear us responding to people.
So matches of the night: Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Cesaro finally wins in his first. Well, he finally wins a big match, first major singles match of his career at WrestleMania, which is pretty cool. Seth Rollins made him look really good. Two great technical wrestlers. They put on a great show. Interesting. Guy was watching WrestleMania with yesterday. He's an Indies wrestler. Shout out to Steve. He went to Bonner. He wrestled Damian Priest, who was in the match yesterday with Bad Bunny, the guy that was on Cardi B's record.
Yeah.
I know Bad Bunny, the Puerto Rican guy.
So, yeah, Bad Bunny tore the house down last night. He was fan-fucking-tastic. And when I say you wouldn't think, like, he took the training very seriously, and he looked like he has a future in the business.
It's fucking scripted.
It doesn't matter if it's scripted. That shit is hard. He took bumps. He did every. Bad Bunny was very impressive. Again, shout out to Robert Edmonds.
Wait. Bad Bunny was fighting? I thought you meant he had wrestling. I thought he was like the halftime performance.
No, he wrestled.
Oh,
he wrestled. God. He was really good. He was really.
They're gonna throw him in the Hall of Fame right next to Shaq.
No, he probably will go in the Celebrity Hall of Fame.
Oh my
He was
God.
great. He
Well-
was really good last night.
Well, stop this madness, man. That's like throwing Calvin Cambridge in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Snoop Dogg is in the Hall of Fame, I think.
I said
No,
Calvin
sorry,
Cambridge.
Calvin Cambridge.
If Calvin Cambridge is in the Hall
From
of
Lake
Fame,
Mike, Quill.
oh my, what
Whatever.
the hell is he
So-
talking
He
about?
said whatever.
Shout out to my cousin Ronald. Bobby
Oh
retained
God!
in our-
The
Wait,
most
wait.
controver-
We just found out Ronald is marrying into the family of Ape and Diamond. Lafina, a listener of this podcast. We were so mind blown when we found that out.
Did you know that, Quill?
What are they? Wait, Lafina and wait a minute.
Yes. Yes.
Whoa, shit.
Yes.
Yo,
Yes.
that is great. Yeah, it's great.
That is great for the
cuz?
show.
What up, cuz? Hey, that's right. That's right.
Wow.
No, but seriously though, and let me get to the major history here. The history
Damn, you didn't get to it yet.
for the second time ever, two women main event at WrestleMania for the first time ever.
What was the first time? China and who?
No, China never main evented anything
Oh, okay.
You
important.
just said that because you know her.
Yeah, exactly.
Sasha Banks, who is a megastar in her own right. She is incredible. Matter of
Never
fact,
heard
she
of
was in the Slanger
Never heard of
she was in the Mandalorian.
Oh,
heard
okay.
of
I
it.
know you're talking about.
She was in the Mandalorian. Sasha Banks is a megastar in her own right. One of the four horsewomen of WWE, like really the women's revolution that took it from bra and panties matches to actual legitimate female women wrestling. They were amazing. Like, she's amazing. Sasha Banks is an absolute star.
You just
she
called her
was
Smarty Jones.
No, she
You
was.
just said she's a horse.
No, I said nothing of it. The horsewoman. You know,
Smarty
that-
Jones.
You wouldn't know anything about that.
I
But
would.
yesterday, over the last year or so, she's been bubbling up. Bianca Belair. You've heard me talk about her a few
I
times
just
on
like the
this
way
podcast.
she looks.
Bianca Belair, she has a great look. You know, she was discovered by Mark Henry. Mark Henry is the one who set her up for a tryout. She doesn't come with a lot of wrestling background, but she picked up quick. She's hyper athletic. She's a CrossFit legend.
That's
She's
good enough. It's fake.
University of Tennessee track star. She is a legitimate athlete.
Wait a minute, Quill.
what?
Don't you have a wrestling podcast?
I do.
Man, cut this bullshit out and go say this bullshit on your other podcast.
No.
Come on, man.
So the fact that two black women headline WrestleMania in a company that regularly holds down black people
Pandering.
is a
Support this company?
big deal.
Pandering.
Is a big deal. No, I love wrestling.
Pandering.
Okay.
I
I'm just
love
asking.
wrestling.
I'm just
I
giving you a
know-
hard time.
If it's scripted, it's pandering. Pandering.
It's
Wow.
not. Listen,
Pandering.
Wow.
finishes are scripted. Only the finishes are scripted. The other stuff that they do in ring is not scripted.
Pander.
Anyways,
I got bras in the headlines. Pander.
anyways,
I got black
the
bras in
roughest,
the headline.
the roughest, the toughest, the smartest, the fastest, the prettiest, the greatest.
Are you?
The
You better be talking about Muhammad Ali. You better be talking about
WWE.
Muhammad Ali.
No, Mike, we're talking about the EST of WWE.
The EST. What the
Right.
fuck does EST stand for?
The EST. She's, like I said, the roughest, the toughest, the greatest, the
All those
smartest,
end with
the
EST,
prettiest, the
Mike.
fastest,
You said
the
nothing
best.
You said nothing that began with a word E, a S, or a T.
They all end with EST.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Dang, Mike.
And
Pay attention.
Sasha made
EST
made
for
her.
me stands for established.
Wow, that's a no. That's not even your 7th and a half grade reading level is showing.
Better than having a seventh heaven reading level.
What
Wow.
does that mean?
No, but seriously though, Sasha and Bianca put on
Man,
one
who
of the
are these
greatest.
frauds?
Put on one of the greatest WrestleMania main event matches in the history of the show.
Man,
An instant classic, A+, 5-star match. It was amazing. John, shut up.
bro, you wrapping this up, man. You went on more of a rant about this wrestling bullshit than X.
No,
well, she's a living legend, so he's giving her flowers.
Oh no. We're not doing this.
It's the EST. It's the EST. Robert Edmonds.
You do this bullshit on your wrestling podcast. What's that called again?
It's still real to me.
Yeah. It ain't three guys with common sense. It's three guys.
No, because I'm the only one with common sense. I'm the only one that had common sense during this conversation. And yes, because Charlotte.
Wow, cool. That's how you do me. I just supported your dreams of talking about wrestling on our podcast.
Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch.
You're just as thick as wrestling is.
No. Just because y'all don't respect it, don't mean I ain't gonna talk about it.
Big sport.
Jesus, Hassan Christ.
Big sport. Wow. Wow. That's how y'all gonna do me?
Well, just wrap this up, man. We losing people.
We are not losing anybody. We gained more people when I was talking about Sasha. We had engagement. But y'all
we do have
be some
engagement.
hating ass motherfuckers.
You bring these head ass niggas over to your other podcast, all right? This is three guys with common sense, not three guys who want to talk about wrestling.
Listen, I'm not here for your consternation, okay? Take that for your 10-cent word. Wow. God damn it.
Wow. Okay.
So I will say, what was even the next topic anyway?
We had some boxing last night. Boots Ennis knocked out Lipinets last night.
We don't know those people.
Shout out to Boots Ennis. Jerron Ennis. Jerron Ennis.
What?
He's from Philly. He's from North.
You saying this like I'm supposed to know everybody from North Philly?
Y'all don't watch boxing either, do y'all?
I do pay attention to boxing. I do know the goal for Philly.
Since John for our listeners.
I know John's the producer of this podcast.
Right, since he wanted to talk about boxing instead of wrestling. So yeah, I brought up boxing. Shut up, John.
So we're letting John executive produce this podcast.
You let John dictate how you act. Wow.
This podcast is going to shits.
I have a question for y'all. So y'all heard about, before we get to the next topic, y'all heard about Black Rob? Was it Black Rob?
Black Rob, man. Prayers up to Black Rob, man. They didn't disclose what the illness is, and like Derek said earlier, we don't really need to know. We just see the videos that he's sick. Prayers up to Black Rob. Were you going to say something to add on to that?
Yes. Okay. Did y'all see that Royce started a GoFundMe for him?
No, he didn't start it.
He shared it.
Yeah, he shared someone that's close to Black Rob started it. It's starting it.
Okay. Because he was getting held in the comments, but I think the internet thought he started it. As you see, I thought he started it.
No, he didn't start it.
It's different now. Okay.
Yeah, someone close to Black Rob started it and saying that Black Rob is homeless. And they were starting to, the friend or the associate started this GoFundMe, and Royce just happened to share it because I saw other people sharing it, but of course Royce was the biggest name that shared it so far, so he caught the backlash.
Yeah, where the fuck is Diddy at? You right, cuz where is Diddy at?
All right, no, we ain't doing this. We're not doing this today.
Well, that's what the comments were saying. And
yeah, but
unfortunately, Diddy, you're usually right with this, but that works more for Jay-Z than it does for Diddy, because Diddy was talking about the whole community thing earlier, so the timing is very bad for him to have that talk. So that's why your phrase "context matters" is important.
But again, we don't know if Diddy even reached out to Black Rob yet. We don't know that.
We don't know
that. But at the moment when these comments were launched, the GoFundMe still wasn't fulfilled. So it's not a strange reason for people to think that.
Assume that he didn't reach out.
Since the GoFundMe still was very low. Because it does have a meter. And I'm not about telling people what to do with their money, but I do sympathize with the backlash if you're talking about like, okay, I'm not like not everyone's you, but Mike, I'm sure if Quill was sick and you were a millionaire, not that Black Rob and Diddy are as close as y'all.
I was about to say that's totally different. Me and Quill
It's
are
not.
actually
Well,
close.
that's what I'm saying, but I've also seen you reach out to people you're not as close to. So people who are and people who are having that type of issue with Diddy's how he is are probably more in your school of thought as far as how your actions would be. So I'm not. That's why when I shared it, I didn't give an opinion because it's like I get it, so I can't shoot them down. But I also understand someone says that's not his job.
Right. And again, we don't know if he reached out. We don't know anything.
Yeah.
But you know, just to have the conversation, I'll have the conversation with you. You know, should Diddy reach out? I mean, if it got past, if he got wind of it, absolutely. Do I think he's obligated to do it? No. But here's the difference. I like you brought the example of, let's just say, me and Quo, even me and you. I'm a caring person, so I would, if I have it, I would give it to you, or if I had something close to it, I would give it to you. But that's me. I can't put myself in Puff Daddy's shoes, right?
Okay, so
like let's just speak on the thing that she was talking about, the article. We're not really going to get into the article because people can read that, but let's just fast forward. People saying, "Oh, well, Diddy was giving out, you know, bullshit contracts," but let's think about it. You know, you have to sign to the contract, right? So if there's some bullshit in the contract, like I remember Jadakiss saying before, every contract that he signed got some bullshit in it, but that's on him because he signed it. He said
I see what you're saying.
Every contract that he ever signed is going to fuck you in some way. It's just how bad do you want to get fucked?
I agree to a certain extent. Like, it's not that I disagree, but everyone draws the line at a different place.
Right.
I don't think you can speak community if you're knowingly giving bad contracts. At that point, you dodge the topic.
Right. And that's why I was saying Diddy looks like a
participate. Go ahead, Will.
Diddy looks like a hypocrite here. That's what it is.
We're talking morally now, right?
Morally speaking, yeah.
Diddy brought the idea of morally speaking because the idea of community doesn't have to exist. He brought that up. Brought that up. That's my only point. That's why I said you defending Jay-Z is different than you defending Diddy. Because Diddy put that target on his back, low-key.
Right. Now, on the flip side of that, I could say, welcome to the music business.
Well, yes. That's what I'm saying. That would fly if he didn't contradict himself. The word community has moral obligation attached to it. So now I'm saying he put himself in that crosshairs.
Right, like
typically,
Hov never did
you know how I am with rich people. I don't care for them. Like, I don't care for them just because they're famous. But now when you put yourself,
hold on, go back to what Will just said. What
the Hov never put that target on his back. He just does it. Like, you know, he
didn't write no paragraph. I mean, no article, all that.
Yeah, like Hov is
okay.
You're gonna do it or not.
I get what y'all saying. So what you're saying is the narrative that's out there of Diddy, for him to say what he said when the narrative is out there, it looks bad, which I understand, right? I'm agreeing with y'all there. What we don't know as fans is that we don't know the nicks and crannies of these contracts, and we just know surface shit. We know that Mace has been asking for his masters back or his publishing back morally. But at the same time, Diddy told him, and Diddy is on record saying this, yes, I will give you your masters back, but you have to pay for it.
Okay, so
he says, I don't have the money. And Diddy says, well, it's too valuable for me to just give to you.
So I got you. So I guess I was more responding to the premise of what you were saying because I don't dig into all that on the normal day. So I was just saying, as far as the whole welcome to the music business thing, I'm like, well, again, why did you bring up the commute? Like, what was his point then about that? Like,
he was talking, which I did read the article because I sent it to you, Derek. He was talking about GMC and them using the black dollar and not giving it back to the community and blah 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 blah. Which I understood his point. Now Puff Daddy saying that looks away, which that's where I agree with you there. But at the same time, we don't really know. We don't really know anything. Like what he says is right. I guess if it came from, let's say, Don Lemon, my cousin, or let's just say someone else in the music business, Russell Simmons saying it would have landed better, right? Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and basically, essentially, without digging in, because Diddy wasn't even a topic today, so I don't want to stay on it too long. But yeah,
okay. No, but this is normal discourse that we're having. I'm not disagreeing with y'all at all. I'm just
I get it. It's just the conversation needs to be heard for the audience too.
Right. And I'm seeing Ronald in the comments, saying stuff. And Ronald, you just better be working for Bad Boy. Because we don't know. We don't. And that's not a shot at you, Ronald. Don't take that. Don't take it that way. But we honestly don't know how these contracts work. We don't. If I can't burn you out of money if you signed over 80% of your publishing. That's not me burning you out of your money. You signed the contract.
You know what though?
If I sign up for $40,000 with my job, but I feel morally that I should be paid 60, I agreed to the terms of 40,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sometimes on the flip side of that, when you, it's tough when you don't have another choice, and in the matter, you have to take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you're like backed into a corner. You might not even want it to have that deal.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, if that's
they say table, that's got better food on the table. Away.
Yeah.
Say that again, Derek?
So yeah, you bet on the.
Depending on the situation, you probably better off walking away if you think you're valuable enough.
That's also true. Mace was claiming that he signed, he created all these songs and never got paid for it, but he got this amount and that amount. But it's like you said, if you know your value is higher than what it is, you should have signed a better deal.
Well, you might not be in a position to sign a better deal.
That's why I said. That's why I said if. That's why my if was there, because you're actually 100% correct on that.
Okay, but we're not going back and forth really on this because, like you said, it wasn't really a topic today. But there we were. Continue. But prayers up for Black Rob. Hopefully he gets the help that he needs. I wish I had the GoFundMe link in front of me. I would have donated something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find it for you if you want it.
Yeah, send it over.
Okay. What was I going to say? I
think we had one more topic.
Was Godzilla versus King Kong a good movie, Quill? Was it okay, good, great? It doesn't have to be good or bad. It could be something in between.
It was perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
And for a movie, a Godzilla movie, a movie of that magnitude, perfectly fine is not good enough.
Oh shoot! Okay, so that's like a C for you if you had to give a letter grade.
Perfectly fine. It's a C plus. Perfectly fine movie. Perfectly fine movie, but for a Godzilla movie, that's not good enough. Perfectly fine is not good enough. You build up in the previews. You build up Kong to be this big badass, and this motherfucker got his ass dragged 8 ways to fucking Tokyo. 8 ways to Tokyo.
Is that what made it bad for you?
It wasn't really a match. It was more fighting in the last.
No, I'm saying is that why it was bad? Is that a reason for you?
Yeah, it kind of pissed me off in a sense of like you built this up to be some big even matchup. In reality, Kong basically dies if not for the human intervention. You let Kong get his ass beat for 98% of the movie. You give him a little shine at the end. Why?
The human character is kind of stupid, and the acting was bad.
Yeah, the acting was pretty shit.
and the acting wasn't this bad in the last ones, like the King
No.
Kong and the solo ones. And it was like they didn't do a good job of pinning who the good guys and bad guys were. I'm not saying you gotta spoon feed me that, but like the guy who made Mechagodzilla wasn't all the way wrong. Godzilla wasn't that much of a good guy in this movie. So it's like if you want to protect your city, not that they did make him kind of a bad guy, but they didn't do it the way Black Panther was trying to do with is Killmonger a good guy or a bad guy? They didn't do that. They kind of flip flopped, and I don't like that.
For Mr. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I thought you were about to ask me something.
I was to say for Mr. John over here, the Snyder cut is fucking pointless. Continue.
Really, I liked it better than Godzilla.
No, the only reason why I say it's pointless is because you did all this work to hype this up, and it's not going to be canon, and it's just going to be its own standalone thing. It's no better to me. It's no different than the original Broly movies from Dragon Ball that weren't canon.
Okay, I see what you're saying. You're not wrong.
It's point because if you're not going to build on the good characteristics you had, what's the fucking point?
You're actually right. You're right. Yeah, that's you can't have hype for a movie and say it don't count. Let's include Mike in a weird way. How do I do this? Mike, imagine if you watch Friday, right?
Yes.
And next Friday comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And after we all watched it, we all liked it. And like, well, guess what? It doesn't count. It never really. Yeah, it was a sequel, but we're not including it. We're not including the events of next Friday and Friday after next.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'd be like, why did that happen then? That's
right.
essentially what we were saying about these movies. You can't have a sequel and say it don't count.
So are they trying to say that this one doesn't count?
The last movie that came out, basically, they just said it doesn't count.
Right.
Towards the next movies. I'm like, but mind you, they promoted it and put a lot of money behind it for the past 8 months. Basically, the whole pandemic.
Oh, it's because of the reviews. Now they're trying to pivot.
People hated
the reviews were good. No,
people hated the original Justice League. Yeah.
So they put out the reshoots. It's kind of like the deluxe version is supposed to be better than the regular version type thing. So they put it out, and now that people like it, they're like, well, it doesn't matter because it don't count. I'm like, so why y'all put out the better version and say that don't count? It's weird.
Right. And then Snyder's not off the hook because he did do that nut ass Wonder Woman 80 whatever the fuck.
No, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. Patty Jenkins did it. A woman did.
Patty Jenkins. Okay. Well, that was terrible.
Well, let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Wow. It was written. You know, it's funny. I've referenced that quite often when I'm writing music. I always reference it was written. That album is so good.
Sometimes I think it was better than Illmatic.
You're not allowed to do that. I already told you I'm not allowed to do that. I'm saying this with my broken ruler. I just broke my ruler during the podcast.
Well, you know what? Let me rephrase what I'm saying. Sometimes I like it was written more than I like Illmatic. But I do think Illmatic is the greatest hip hop album of all time.
Great cleanup. That makes a lot more sense for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're allowed to enjoy one album more than another, but you can still think, like with logically in your head, like, yeah, like I enjoyed
me and Noy was just having this debate last week because she doesn't understand how I can, like, we was having the Reasonable Doubt Blueprint debate. I said I believe that Reasonable Doubt. No. I believe that the Blueprint is the best album that Jay-Z ever made. But I like Reasonable Doubt more. She doesn't understand how I can say that. She thinks that she lives in a world where you don't say that you like something and that's not the best. She doesn't like correlate that. And I'll tell you something else. And I think I talked about this on the podcast because the debate really stemmed from, in my wife's mind, this is Noy's mind, and I hope she's listening because I don't want to seem like I'm talking behind her back. But she believes that Kelly Rowland is on the same level as far as talent-wise that Beyonce is, right? And I asked her,
to put me to sleep.
No. Now, before you say that, I asked her. I said, so they grew up literally in the same house since they was 12 years old. They lived in the same house, right? I said they had the same resources. They had the same manager. Why did Beyonce become who she is and Kelly become who she was if talent wise they were the same person? And she claims that in her mind that Kelly sings better than Beyonce. Her argument is, well, Beyonce was Matthew's, which is Matthew Knowles, the manager. She was the daughter, so she was going to be put on a bigger pedestal. And I said, well, you can't say that because they came out of the same group. And the group, in my eyes, has more legendary music than Beyonce.
That's tricky though, Mike, because that's more subjective than you realize in some ways. You're not wrong in the basic premise, but once you dig into it, that's a little bit. There's a lot of bendable pieces to that scenario.
And she all let me just say this before you continue. She also used the skin color argument that Kelly wasn't what Beyonce is because Kelly is dark skinned.
That's tough because it's like,
but she couldn't prove it to me. It's just something that my wife is the type of person, she can hear something and she'll take it in and verbalize it back. And it's like, well, why did you say that? She can't explain why she thinks that. It's just she saw 20 people like that on Facebook and she'll run with it. She's one of those people. But I want to get y'all opinion on that real quick before we move on. I'll tell you my thing. Kelly to me she's part of Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child doesn't move without Beyonce and Kelly. They were the two main people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to solo work, Kelly just couldn't move the needle. And sometimes that's how it goes. Like Ralph Tresvant was the lead of New Edition. Ralph Tresvant just couldn't be Bobby Brown.
See, for me, I was out like on her singles, Kelly's. So I didn't pay the album no mind. Like I heard Motivation, instant flip for me after a while.
I was in the camp that I thought at one point in time, Kelly was better than Beyonce. At one point in time, but I thought that Kelly was a more refined singer at that point in time, but it speaks more to Beyonce's greatness of her working on her craft, her mastering her crafts, and the talent shining through. Beyonce, put like this, Kelly's floor was pretty high. I think she was pretty solid, but her ceiling wasn't that high, if that makes sense. She had a great baseline, but her ceiling was never going to be astronomical.
Better example, Quill, and only you will understand this because you know who this person is. Keke Wyatt might be the most vocally the best singer of the last 25 years, right?
Oh, I've seen her live and she is absurd.
Keke Wyatt is
Mike. I know who Keke Wyatt is.
Okay,
a lot of people don't.
No, I wasn't saying that to be smart. I was just saying it because
I just needed you to know. I know.
All right. Keke Wyatt vocally is one of the greatest singers that you can ever hear, but that doesn't always match music making. The ability to make music, right? Wow. That's like Cassidy, and I said this to my wife. I said, Cassidy, when it comes to bars, Cassidy is through and through head and heels over a lot of rappers, but that doesn't always translate to making music. That's like, I know guys who I deem that I play ball with, I think they could play ball. That doesn't mean they going to the NBA. Everybody that you know that can play basketball is not going to the NBA. Right. So it's kind of like that. Like Keke Wyatt is a great song, is a great singer. But Keke Wyatt was never going to be Kelly Price. And Kelly Price was that medium of someone who sing her ass off, but can also make great music.
She could make great music. She was a shit person and burned all her bridges.
Well, there you go.
That
I,
was that was her problem.
To me, the goat of that conversation is Whitney Houston. I believe Whitney Houston's vocal ability and Whitney Houston's song making, they equal. And that's why I believe she's the greatest female singer of all time.
I agree.
And for me, the male version of that is Luther Vandross.
I might actually no. I got one person over her. I got Whitney second.
Okay, let's hear it.
Aretha.
Not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
Can't be mad. Yeah.
The male version, take that for what it's worth, is Luther Vandross.
Love Luther. All forms of Luther. That's just one of those things.
All forms. So you like skinny, you like fat, you like he's the original Nutty Professor.
Oh no! Getting back to the original Beyonce point. Beyonce's ceiling. Beyonce had no ceiling, in a sense, where like the sky really was the limit for her. She just had to work to get there,
and she put in the work.
She put in the work. So when I say that, I think that Kelly was better at one point in time. It's really a testament to how good Beyonce has become, because now until I guess Rihanna came around, star power wise, Beyonce was unfuckwittable.
Yes,
she couldn't be touched.
Yes.
And then Rihanna came about. I thought Rihanna was one of the best things that happened to Beyonce's career, in a sense where, for the first time, like Alicia Keys was really big, and there was something in the group. We had a discussion about what singer's career will we let go. Alicia Keys was huge in her time frame.
I mean, people forget how big she was because in their mind it was such a short window. But they forget Alicia Keys' first 3 albums, like they were like you said, unfuckwittable. You used that word. It was that.
So let's expand on that. Do you know Alicia Keys has never released an album that's debuted underneath 4th?
I can see that. I can literally see that. And
she has a bunch of number 1 debuts. Mm-hmm. She has a couple. She has like a 2. She has like 3 1s. Mm-hmm. Her Unplugged was 1, and then her last album debuted 4th. She has a bunch of top 10 singles, a couple of number 1s. Mm-hmm. Like, she was really big. I mean, but she wasn't the entertainer Beyonce was, and that always was going to put Beyonce over top because Beyonce was that pop icon,
right?
But Rihanna was that first real pop icon to really push Beyonce in the sense and rival her. And they've never like crossed paths musically or anything like that. But it's great. Like she was great for competition is always good. Like you can go the Nicki Minaj route and kind of fold when you get competition. Like when Nicki Minaj basically ran uncontested for most of her time until now. You got the Cardi B just as big of a personality.
Yep.
You have Meg Thee Stallion, who is becoming a mega star in her own right, household name.
Right. And Rhapsody raps better. She's just not the household name that Nicki is.
Rhapsody raps better than probably
everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So
that's like the 2 people over my head. Jay-Z needed Nas to be who he was. Michael Jordan needed Clyde Drexler and the Bad Boy Pistons and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird to push who he wanted to become.
Exactly, and that's why I have a respect for Beyonce now, because she took that competition and she didn't fold. She invented herself or reinvented herself into something that just she can't be touched. She can't be touched.
She became our Diana Ross.
Yeah.
She literally went from the Supremes, aka the Destiny's Child, to being Diana Ross.
Right, and there's room for Rihanna. There's room for Rihanna. There's room for the Alicia Keyses. There's room for these artists, but there's only one Beyonce.
Can we get this out the way? And I'm gonna say this as a Aaliyah fan. I've always been an Aaliyah fan, but we got to stop with these narratives that Beyonce wouldn't be who she was if Aaliyah was alive. Stop saying stupid shit like that. And then and I gotta pick a bone with the person that you live with, your significant other, your woman in arms, because she says some shit that is just blatantly not true. She said that Aaliyah was not as famous alive as she was dead.
Aaliyah was very well. Aaliyah was loved. I can't even say liked. We can't even. Oh, your mic.
She said Aaliyah wasn't famous until she died.
Yeah, that's not.
I was mind blown.
So let me give you some perspective on that. In her household, her mother is very much into the oldies. Mm-hmm. Her mother was not into hip hopper. Her mother was not into that genre of R&B. So in her world, that didn't begin until her first like real rap album, like that she knew, was Black Album.
Okay.
So she's a late bloomer. So that her mindset makes sense if you know the backstory to it. Aaliyah wasn't necessarily the most talented singer, but what she lacked in singing ability, she was incredibly likable, incredibly relatable. One of the reasons why Rockefeller broke up, but that's another story for another time.
Yes.
She was, but Beyonce there would have been room for both. If Aaliyah was alive now, there would have been room for both.
There's always, this world is too big to not have room for at least two people. Why do you think all these rappers can live in one world? Uzi lives in the same world that Kendrick lives in. It's room for all these people. It's room for the Drakes. It's room for Kendrick. It's room for Uzi. It's room for Lil Yachty. It's room for Lil Baby. It's room for all these babies, all these Rugrats. And then there's still room for Royce the 5'9" and all these people. Like, we got to stop saying that, it can only be one. No, all these people can live in the same world. In 98, the best rappers was Ja Rule, Jay-Z, and DMX. They was able to all live in the same world and make music together.
Yeah.
As time
the original
went on,
Murder Inc. The original Murder Inc.
And as time went on, yes, one trumped the other two. But, that's why you have to, like Derek say, you have to put things in perspective, and you have to say the full context of what went on. Like, you can't just harp on one thing. That's like my brother-in-law likes to harp on that, well, Jay-Z didn't drop his first album until he was 26, and all his peers sold more than him at that time. And it's like, no, that's not always true, because at the same time, DMX was a late bloomer. His first album didn't come out till he was 28 years old. And he was trying to come out since the early 90s. And then his first album didn't drop till 98. Like, everybody, and Illmatic and Ready to Die didn't come out swinging. They sold 50,000 copies. That's not coming out swinging. You know what I mean? Like, Tupac's first number one was Me Against the World. Am I correct? That was his third album. That was his third album. Like, but we live in this world where we judge things off of the now, right? We judge things off of what we know now, and we don't dig too far back, and I mean, we could pivot from here, but that's why, we gotta live in the real world. Like, look at Paul Pierce. I mean, he faked an injury in the NBA Finals to have a moment. And now he's online smoking weed with strippers because he wanted out of his ESPN contract. And y'all call him the Truth. I think he's the or. Truth or false, he's or.
And just to get Mike, just to add some perspective to that, Tupacalypse Now, Tupac's first album, November 12th, 1991, debuted, its peak chart position, 64th.
My point.
64th.
My point.
Strictly for my niggas. February 16th, 1993. Peak chart position, 24th.
Look at that.
His first number one album was not until Me Against the World, and that was when he caught his case. Around that time, he was in the public eye.
Yep.
All Eyes on Me, another number one, and then the Don Illuminati. Like he probably would have had a stretch, but he didn't catch his stride until he was a few albums in. Not everybody is able to debut at number one and stay. That is hard to do. That is really hard to do.
I
was gonna say that's why we revere Kendrick for what he's done, because he's debuting and staying, and hell, what Good Kid, Mad City has been on the damn top 200 for like 10 years. It's ridiculous.
That's why he's one of the best. Whether you want to give him the longevity argument or not, he's one of the greats. If we're gonna put Biggie in that great conversation, then Kendrick's over him. If we're having that argument,
yeah, actually, because I mean, Kendrick's been around longer,
right?
Exactly,
right. And hell, Good Kid, Mad City debuted at number 2. Go figure. And I think it was Taylor Swift that was around the same time as him that debut one, if I'm correct.
And Scotty getting all that money.
Oh man.
Oh shoot.
Taylor Swift ain't seeing a dime of her money on all her masters is on.
And y'all talking about all these artists like G-Dep needs his money. Taylor Swift ain't even getting all the money she's supposed to get.
Oh my gosh, Taylor Swift is.
And you want
crazy.
Total to get you want Puffy to just give Total they shit?
Good
That's
luck.
why I said, welcome to the music business. Scooter Braun, what up?
Oh yeah, so yeah, it was Taylor. I was right. Taylor Swift released Red October 22nd, 2012. That was number one in several countries.
Scooter Braun released Red.
And that went 7 times platinum. That's an album that will probably go diamond at some point.
It will.
I
don't hear how, but it will.
She already has a diamond record in Fearless. Red will probably go diamond. 1989 is going to go diamond.
Is Taylor Swift over Britney Spears at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well above Britney.
Okay.
Well above Britney.
Like Britney had that peak, but Taylor Swift has done over like 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, so I'm really asking.
The Britney Spears, the Christina Aguilera's, people that we thought was the shit back in the day in that genre, Taylor Swift has gone above and beyond. And I'll tell you somebody else to look out for. Nick Jonas. I know you might not be into that lane, but his last album is pretty good. It's pretty good. Check it out.
I mean, he's talented, but I've never
extremely talented.
Unfortunately, I still see the Disney Channel stamp on his forehead.
Oh, he's legit. There's some bops on that record. Like he has it. You can tell his influences range far beyond just being the Disney kid. Like it's not.
That's fair.
He's not. He's
fun fact. My cousin saw him perform because before he was signed, they performed at Beverly Hills Middle School in Upper Darby, the one right near Bonner.
Yeah.
All
right. I feel like we're rambling, so I think this is a good place to close up.
Let's do that. Final thoughts.
Fuck Paul Pierce. He's a fucking idiot, and the truth will not set you free. In the words of Paul Pierce.
Hove is still the GOAT. Michael Jordan is still the GOAT. I actually saw that Michael Jordan lost a poll of being the greatest of all time. He lost it to Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky. Go figure. He's a great one. Well, he has to be. I mean, if you skating as a male, you're the greatest.
We saw how them hockey motherfuckers get down.
Yeah,
that shit is intense.
Exactly. But whatever, teach his own. I enjoy It Was Written over Illmatic, but I do think Illmatic is the greatest hip hop album ever. Derek is wearing a button up. I'm still kind of confused about that, but I guess it's for work purposes. And I love my wife.
No.
I love my wife, and I love my life, and I love my child.
Are you trying to be funny?
And rest in peace, DMX. No, I don't know what I was trying to be.
No, with the I love my life thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It rhymed with I love my wife.
Okay, I hate that song.
My favorite.
I don't even hate the song. Like I said, it's just it's ATL. It just happens and ends, and I was waiting for it to start.
Wow.
Oh, what was I gonna say? In 2 days is my wedding anniversary. 2 years.
Wow!
Shout
Congratulations.
Shout out to you and
Thank
Carl.
you.
To 203,078 more celebrations.
One of
Bingo.
these days. One of these days,
What
I'll
do y'all-
pop the question.
Wow.
Oh man.
What do you plan on doing for your anniversary?
Probably something simple because of COVID.
Yo, speaking of COVID, I'm Team Derna. Team Derna got that shizot. Clack clack.
Wow.
Right in the left arm, right there.
I'm fully vaccinated myself.
My next vaccination is next month. Can't wait. Now I'm gonna throw me a party. I'm gonna have no mask on with a shirt off.
That's still not safe because you can get the mutated version of COVID still.
Give me that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle version. I don't care.
Okay.
Listen, as long as he got the version Magic got, it's all good.
There y'all go.
Magic got the Pfizer. I got the Moderna. So I got the Larry Bird version.
Can I get my final thoughts?
I got the Pfizer, so we good. Yeah, give your final thoughts. We're crazy.
So okay. Anniversary.
So wait a minute. So EJ is not a sugar cookie. He a rainbow cookie.
Anyway, what was my final thought? I don't remember.
Avatar is the greatest.
Oh Jesus!
The greatest. I don't know. Who's the greatest? Who's the greatest rapper of all time? Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, speaking of Lupe, are we all going to watch that as a family?
When is it?
I don't know when it is.
The 15th, isn't it? I believe the 15th.
Yeah, I'm a watch.
Yeah,
I'm a watch because I'm a watch.
I'm gonna get it for
Thursday. 15th.
Yes.
Why is it on a Thursday?
Because that's the day it came out.
Oh, I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna put it on the side then.
April 15th. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna buy it right now.
I'm a
just to reserve my.
I actually gotta get out of here so I can clock in and not get fired.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
And if this is your first time listening to us, sorry. If this your next time listening to us, thanks for coming and see you next week. Three guys with
common
next
sense.
week. Godzilla stinks.
And so does
Paul Pierce's.
So does Cuckoo Cow.
All right, y'all.
And our projects.
This guy.